So we're going to talk about something a word that I created, and I'm going to write it down here because hopefully it'll become a word that's used in the planet. And so I'm going to do it right here, and it's called, and that's one word, and it stands for dival. What do you think dival stands for? What does it sound like? The reason I did this, I wanted to never have it get abbreviated. Dival will not get abbreviated. Whether it's accepted or not, it's fine. But I didn't want it to come to DV, as DV sounds like something I don't want to have. Dival sounds like something that I do want to have. So basically what I did is I created this word, and it deals with this idea of dynamic. Now, why is it dynamic value? See, value alone is not it. If we're living on liquid turf, it's dynamic and it constantly changes. So dival, enough dival. So in order to look at dival, how do you create your dival? If you're going to get in the world and make a business, you've got to have dival. Now, that's really important to understand that there's different levels of value, okay? You've got at the very bottom of this thing, you've got basically your commodity. This is commodity here. So commodity, and commodity is like sand or anything that everybody else is. And basically, when you're dealing at the level of commodity, there's only one issue, and that is, or primary issue, not one, but it's price. Now, it is also distance, etc. But price is a big player in and how far you have to do it. So commodity level is, you don't want to play there. Okay, the next level down, the next level above commodity, you come to this thing called a product. Now, a product. So the problem with product is, see, they talk about these big companies have these things called product managers. Okay, and a product manager is, you've got a product, but the question now becomes, is this phone a product or is it a service? Is it a product or a service? That's the question. What is it? Well, the problem you got now is, see, product and service now have come together. So you don't have this combination is really important to understand. There used to be a difference between a product and a service. Now what? What is this? It wakes me up. It's a service. It's a product because I had to buy it. So what is it? It's both. And so all of a sudden, this product or service has gone away, and still people think in terms of product or service. That's silly because these are not, okay, separate. They are joined. In fact, if you think about it, these things now have to be, the better way to look at them is not as a product or service, but are they an offer? Now, this big deal here is that they combine into an offer. So the phone now makes a lot more sense when you say, what are you offering me? Well, I'm offering you a product and a service, and therefore it's an offer, not here. And so this whole thing about product management and stuff is over because they were getting embedded with computers. This is something that has lots of dival at the level of product or service. The problem with this problem here is, even if you have an offer, what's going to happen? If it's a good offer, what are people going to do? They're going to what? Copy it. And if they copy it, then what? Then you got a problem because now you have competition. So this is not where you want to be as a business person. Not down here. You've got, your dival has to be above this. And if it's not above this, you're in trouble. You want to stay away from any product. So you do not want to sell a product or a service or an offer. You do not want to be a commodity. You want to get above this level. So what's above this that is going to allow you to have an opportunity to stay around and not have to be dealing with somebody else? So let's take a look. What's above this line? Okay, dival above this line starts off with a thing called experience. Now, what's so cool about an experience? So you may be offering this out, but you want to be selling an experience and having people have the experience. Because what's so cool about experience? It's what? It's what is it about an experience? Your experience and my experience are going to, we may be looking, I mean, I look at a little kid on the street corner and I say, hey, this kid's got a potential to be the president of the United States. My partner will look at it and say, this little kid's out, it's cold, it's out here, poor thing, and her experience is very different than mine. So what's so cool about experiences are they are unique. And then once you get to unique experiences, what? It can't get copied because everybody's experience is different. So that if you start above the line, the minimum, whatever you're doing, you've got to be providing an experience because that gives you the chance now. Every experience is unique. So you've got to be unique because if you're not, you're going to get copied or you're going to become a commodity. And if you get copied, then price starts to come into the place. Experiences are not. Now, experiences are not the highest level on the diet. This is, by the way, the Dival's basically hierarchy. See, down here's 1. This is the bottom. And then you get 2 is basically what? The offer. Not these two go together. They used to be separate, but they don't. Then you get to the level up here, which is now above the line, is experience. But experience is not the top. The experience is not the top, okay? So the next level up, which basically has to deal with the king, and this is the next level up, and that is transformation. Now, transformation is above experience. So that, when you go to a gym or you want to do something, if you want to learn how to read fast or something, you transform. So transformation, see, every level you go up here, the more you can charge. The more you can charge. So when you get to transformation, that's better than the experience. So if I can say to you transformation, that's got a higher level, okay? But there's still a level higher than this. And so that if you look, you've got experience is number 3, number 4 is transformation, but that's still not the top. There's one level higher than this, and this is it. When you get to this level, okay, all right, you're really dealing with nobody's going to even care what you charge, okay? So the number 5, which is critically important, okay, and that is a thing called predictable transformation. See, predictable is, when my wife got cancer, okay, I needed her to get well. I called and found the best colorectal cancer doctor in the world, and that was in New York City, and her name at Sloan Kettering, her name was Nancy Kemeny. I called her office, okay, because what? She is the one that's been great. Now, here in Utah, my wife was given 4 to 6 weeks to live. That was 8.5 years ago because we flew to New York, went to, when I got there and she worked on, Nancy Kemeny worked on her, do you think I asked how much it was going to cost? Do you think? No. I wanted what? Transformation. And we got it, and 8.5 years, almost 9 years now, she's cancer free. She was told she had 4 to 6 weeks to live, 3 to 6 weeks to live. So transformation is way up there. Now, what happens when you get to predictable transformation? You can charge almost anything for predictable transformation, okay? And what do you charge there? Whatever you want, because predictable transformation can do a risk reversal. I would say to you, look, I guarantee you that we're going to transform you. If I don't transform you, okay, then what's going to happen is you get your money back. So risk reversal comes in at the level of predictable transformation. So if you start to understand how to deal with Dival, the Dival hierarchy is down here, price alone, commodity. The next level up is offer, where you don't want to play ever. You've got to get up to the level of experience, then get up to transformation, and then predictable transformation, where you go to risk reversal, where the price goes. I have a very good friend of mine who basically gets people better, and they work for major companies, and what they do is they find people who are not very good with people, and they like what the person does in terms of their value, but they don't work with people together. And so this guy goes in and he sees the guy, and the conversation is real simple. He says, I've been hired by your company and they're paying me a lot of money because you're an asshole. That's how it starts. The guy says, I am not an asshole. Well, let's call your former wife. You got to have a former wife. Okay? Assholes all have former wives. So let's call her. What's her number? Let's call her and ask her if you're an asshole. Or ask your kids. Okay? So what happens is I don't like to hang out with assholes. So either you're going to change or I've got to hang out with you. And I don't want to hang out with you. And if you don't want me to hang out and sit next to you for the rest of the next year, then it's your chance to opportunity to change because I am going to have to stay here if you do not change. So you got a choice. I stay here next to you and I have to hang out with an asshole, or you change. That's the first conversation that this guy has. And so what he's got here is the level of transformation. When I told him that he was charging at this level, I got him to go to 3x and put the risk reversal. He got 96% of the people change. So that what happens by going 3x, now what happens is, see, you can do this because they want this person to change. They'll pay almost anything to get this person to change. So then they charge 3x. He got the same percentage, 96% change. And what did he do? He more than 6 times doubled his ability, his income because he did the risk reversal. So the whole idea is understand die-val and where you've got to play is critical in your equation to succeed financially and to make a difference. It's up to you, but always use your not enough die-val, you're going to get in trouble. I learned from Bucky a long time ago that the bigger the picture, the more accurate your prediction. There's nothing in a caterpillar, if you just study a caterpillar, will ever tell you about scenario butterfly. So my entire life, I'm working as much as I can to be a comprehensivist. That is interested in everything, so I can make better choices, better decisions, and have a better perspective. What can I do for you?